Hello guys, so last video we discussed MongoDB Atlas and we set up a cluster for ourselves. We also ended up creating a first database in the last 1 minute or so. If you haven't created a database, go ahead and just go to your cluster under collection, create database, and then you should have it. You can also create, like once you're inside, you can create, the collection as you wish. Now for this video, we're gonna be connecting this to Rust, and we're gonna be adding, deleting, and updating, finding, adding, and deleting a document inside this collection, user collection, and we're gonna do it inside Rust. So to begin, we need the Mongo Rust driver, which is the official MongoDB Rust driver. Now inside Rust driver, there's two. One is async, another one is sync. For this video, we're gonna be using the sync API. I might do another video next week on async. I haven't decided yet, but we're gonna be using the sync API and accessing the cluster through the sync API for MongoDB. So now to begin, first we're gonna need to just have dependencies in our Rust. To begin, we're gonna go ahead and do cargo new, and we're just gonna call it Mongo test. It's gonna be created. Now we can move into our directory, Mongo test ls, and this should be our these should be auto-generated using cargo new. So now we can open this file and add our dependencies. So I'm just gonna, okay, so the first dependencies we're gonna add, actually let's go ahead and so if you go back to their website, their official website, if you go importing, you can either do it through crates.io, just do this and that's it. But if you want to specify async or sync, you need to configure it. So if you go down here, it says enabling sync API. This is what we need. So we're gonna just copy this and paste it. Paste it right here. Sweet. Now we're gonna just do cargo build. And we're gonna let it build. It might take a while. So once it's done building, we can go ahead and start importing our sync API here. So if you go back to their official documentation, if you just scroll down to where it says using the sync API, we can go ahead and copy this. So, and these two lines, we're gonna be using it in a bit, but for now let's just connect our database. So we're gonna go ahead and just gonna copy this, and now we're gonna go ahead and right underneath main, we're gonna connect to our database. So how are we gonna do that? We're gonna do let client equal to client with URI str. So if you're wondering where I got this function from, so if you just go down here, it says let client with URI. So that's correct. So that's fine. Now this is when you're using MongoDB locally. Since we have Atlas, this URL is going to be different. So how do we get the URL for our cluster? Well, for that, we're going to have to log into our cluster. So once you're inside, if you go to, just go to overview, and you see this connect. If you press connect and say connect application, and it should give you this URL. Now this URL has DB user. So this is the name of the user that you decided earlier. Mine is DB user, so it's DB user, nothing standard. And this is the password you saved. This password, if you do not remember, this is not the account password. This is the cluster password. If you don't remember this password, you can go ahead and reset it. So if you go back, just press go back, and when you're here, create a database user. Go ahead and click on this, and then should take you to, okay, it should take you to this page. So now you have this, you can go ahead and edit, and here's password authentication. This is my username, and if you want, you can go ahead and edit password. You can enter a new password or auto generate, and then just copy the password, and then you can update the user. I'm not gonna bother changing the password, so I'm just gonna go ahead and cancel. And once you, if you do end up changing it, make sure you wait here. There should be a message here that says it may take a couple, and that message may take a minute or two to update your database. But yeah, so just do that. This should be your username, password is whatever you said. Now connection method. So we're gonna be here. So we can copy this, or we're just gonna copy this link here. So this and this are exactly the same. Actually, no one. Let me just go ahead and copy this then. So if we go do that, there you go. And we're gonna. So my password is just hi. How are you? Gonna be deleting this whole cluster, so it doesn't matter for now. And then this is my cluster site, and then we don't need this, my first database, so we can just go ahead and delete this. And we also don't need this. And here we're just gonna write twist and question mark double majority. So this is similar to this right here. So we got username, password, then cluster URL, and then just this, right? And that's what we got here. And this is gonna return a result, so we can do unwrap. Now, if you do wish, you can do a little bit of error handling here, but for our case, we're just gonna assume that it's always gonna be successful, and we're just gonna unwrap it. We're gonna go down, and then we're gonna get a handle for our database. So db client dot database, and we're gonna have first database. So this first database is our name of the database. Close. If we go down in collections, this first database, this right here, this is the name of our database. So we're just gonna copy this, paste it there. And we're also gonna get a handle to our actually, you know what, let's just leave this the way it is, and we're gonna create a function called add user, and we're gonna pass in a client there, the client handler. And then here we're gonna say function add user. Gonna be like, and we're gonna say, gonna pass in client, and client is gonna be MongoDB client, right? Sorry, MongoDB sync client, MongoDB sync client. And so we're gonna define database, which is gonna be client dot, sorry, not client dot database. We're gonna say first database, and we're gonna collection, which is gonna be db dot collection, and we're gonna say users. Right, so once we have that, we can go ahead and insert a document. So we're gonna say insert one, because we're only inserting one. And we're gonna say doc, so we're gonna convert this into, and we're gonna it's gonna be name, which is gonna be J. We can, oh, what did I do? We can say Dave. Let's keep Dave. And then for password, we're gonna just say crypto because it's pretty secure. And for options, we're gonna just say none. Once again, if you're wondering where I got this method from, everything is in the driver. So actually not here. If you go into their official, MongoDB, if you go in here, all the functions are here. You just go in collection. Under collection, you should have all these functions. The one we're using right now is insert one right here, insert one, where we define the document that we need to insert, and the options, which is just none in our case, right here. So yeah, once that, we can go ahead and run it. We have imported doc. Okay, sweet. So let's go ahead and cargo run. Okay, so didn't print anything. That's because we're not printing anything. So if we go back to our Atlas, we should have our updated list here. So as you can see, it's named Dave, password is crypto, so that's good to go. So we successfully created a function, add user. So now we can go ahead and do the other two functions that we decided to do. One was find user, so we're gonna find the user that's inside right now. We'll leave it to that. First, to find user, we need to define a struct for the type of user. So right now our struct is name and password, so that's what we're going to define here. We're just going to say struct name. For name, we're going to say user. For field, it is going to be name. Type is going to be string. Then password string, right? And then here, yeah, we need debug just for printing purposes. Oh, but there's two things we also need. One is serialize, and the other one is deserialize, which is required by the MongoDB driver. So we're gonna do that. Oh, I spelled both of them wrong, but it's okay. So if you go down here, see they have book. For us it's user structure, and they need both of these. So we're just gonna copy this here, paste it here, right? And we're also gonna need to copy this and paste it here. So now for using this, we also need to import it. So if we go back to our dependencies, we can go ahead and import this. Actually, let me just can go ahead and just create .io. Go here. We're just gonna search today. Go here, and then copy this, paste it here. Sweet. Okay, so that's done. Now we're just gonna go ahead and cargo build, and while that is happening, we're just gonna go ahead. Oh, finished already. Okay, sweet. That's quick. Now we're gonna go ahead and do the find user function. So actually now we can go ahead and just get rid of this. Just comment it out, or we can just let it be. It doesn't matter. And then we're gonna, so in find user, we're just gonna pass in collection because we're gonna need it for two more functions. So we're just gonna do the definition for a database here, like what we did here. We're gonna do client dot database, and it's going to be first database. Then we're gonna do let collection, which is gonna be db dotted by collection, and this time we're gonna so we can just do this, but since we do have it in the structure that we want it in, so as soon as we get it, we want it to convert it into struct. This is the type that we're looking for. So we're gonna say user, and then we're gonna say users. So users collection has this type, which is a name and password. So we can go that. Now we can go ahead and find user, and we're gonna pass in the collection. Right, now collection, the type for collection is going to be MongoDB sync, because we're going to use sync, and it's a collection, and it's going to be type user, and then we're going to say let result equal to collection dot find. And what are we going to find? Well, we want a document that has name starting with, or the name is Dave, and for option what we're going to do, none once again, and we're not going to do any kind of error handling. We're going to assume it's going to return yes, because Dave does exist in fact. So we're going to do unwrap right away, and we're gonna, oh actually this is going to be a, oh what did I do, this is going to be a cursor. So for result in cursor, we're gonna print, we're gonna do debug printing, because this is gonna be in structure of user, right? And we're just gonna do result print, and that's it. Let's see if it finds Dave. So we're gonna go ahead and do cargo run. Oh, sorry, this is gonna be collection, C capital, and okay, as you can see, okay, so that's good, and it says user, and the user found was named Dave and password is crypto, which is correct, so that's good. And if you're wondering where I got all these functions from, once again, same in collection. Even if you go here, it says collection, and then type is gonna be the type of document. For our case, it was the user structure, so we did that, and it does require serialize, deserialize, debug. So yeah, and then all these are the functions. So now that we have find users done, we can go ahead and copy this, and now we're gonna do remove user. So for remove user, we're gonna pass in the same variable, but it's but now instead of saying find one, we're gonna do delete one. So we're only gonna delete one of them, as gonna be the first one that matches the query. The query is gonna remain the same. We're just gonna do name Dave. It's still gonna be none, and unwrap. Now it's not gonna be, this is not gonna be cursor. This is just gonna be result. It's fine, and we're just gonna go ahead and print out the result, and it's gonna be debug once again, and then we're just gonna do result. Okay, and of course we forgot to call it here, so we're just gonna do remove user. We're gonna pass in the same thing. This we're just gonna comment out. We're gonna go ahead and run it. Okay, so result delete count, so it deleted one document. So now to check if it actually deleted, we can go back to our thing. It's still there. Now we can refresh it, and it should be gone. Boom, that's it. So yeah, that's a simple way you can how you can add user, find user, remove user using the MongoDB sync API. Once again, this is not async API, this is sync API. There's another one, async API, which I might do next week. But yeah, it's pretty simple. First you get the URI from your cluster connected, username, password, all that good stuff. Then you connect it to your database. Then you define, then inside database you'll have multiple collection. You need to define a type for that collection. So in our case, it would be user, and it had field name and password. So we did that, and that matches to users. So we got the handle for collection. Then to remove, we just pass it any function we want, and for that we just call function methods on it, and all the methods are listed in their documentation. So read as you wish. Update one, update many. You can do much more sophisticated things with it than the ones I've shown you. Just simple. But yeah, that's how you do it. And dependencies, you need these, which is in MongoDB. You need this, which is, you can import it. And this is the sync. For async, just type async here. But yeah, that was the scope of this video. I hope it was easy to follow along, and I hope you were able to connect it to your MongoDB Atlas that we created last time together. Yeah, other than that, have a wonderful day.